Hey everyone, how are you? Drop here. With 3.8 right around the corner, and now that the in-game expo is complete, we have a lot of new players that are in the verse now. And with 3.8 just like a couple weeks away at most, I thought it'd be a good idea to do an informational video, less of a guide tutorial, in regards to land vehicles, bikes, etc., etc. The reason I think this is a good idea is because, well, with new players, they're always going to be looking at, okay, what can I do? What's a fun, enjoyable way to play the game? And for a lot of people, that's testing out the land vehicles on different moons or planets. So I thought it might not be a bad idea to do something sort of like where I just give you all the information that I currently have and know about all the land vehicles. Topics we're going to cover: where you can spawn land vehicles, different land vehicles. We're also going to be covering where you can rent or purchase land vehicles in the game in its current state. This is 3.7.2. This isn't the PTU. This is the regular universe. So let's get straight into it. We're here. We're at Arccorp. What we're going to do is come on down to the Spaceport. And there's these rental kiosks. You might remember from one of my other videos where I came here to rent a prospector for hand mining. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on this traveler rental terminal. The frickin' dogs. The dogs. Dogs are just barking. Okay, so what we've got here is we've got, at the very bottom, we've got ground. I don't know why it says ground, but this is a tumbril cyclone. Obviously, it's a little bit bugged out and you can't see the whole thing, but it's actually just a buggy. And this one here is also very bugged out. So just a few little pebbles. This is a bike. I know you can't see it, but this is a bike. This is like an alien bike. This is just like your regular tumbril cyclone. So these are the two land vehicles that you can rent here at Arccorp. Okay, so those are the two that you got here. And if you go to I've already rented both those land vehicles. If you go to the rent or the retrieval console, it only gives you the bike, the racing bike. So this is a land vehicle. You can't spawn the cyclone, the buggy here, but you can spawn the bike. So would you want to do that? Would you want to spawn it here? I mean, you can't really go anywhere once you spawn it, but what you can do is you can pull out the bike, pull it out of the landing bay, park it, and then if you have another ship, like for example the Avenger, or I don't even know if it'll fit in the Avenger, to be honest, or if you have a Caterpillar like I do, or if you have like a Cutlass Black or a Freelancer, any of the Freelancer ships, then what you can do is you can pull out the bike, and then you can pull out that ship that has the kind of like the drop gate, and you can just load that bike into your ship, and then you can take it wherever you want. But here at Arccorp, you can rent the bike, which is the Nox, and you can also rent the Cyclone. But you can only pull out the bike here. So let's move on. The next place that we're going to go is Hurston, and I'll show you what we can rent from the terminal there. All right, so now we are at Teasa Spaceport in Lorville, and someone just went up to the rental kiosk to rent something, so we'll just wait patiently for them while they choose what ship they want to rent. Hopefully it doesn't take too long. So right off the bat here, a lot of these ships are really similar to what you saw at the other kiosk, with a few small little changes. We still have the Cyclone here, but the difference here now, what we have available to us, is the Dragonfly. The Dragonfly is another bike, but it's by Drake Interplanetary. Again, their kiosks are really bugged out, so you can't really see it. But when we go to pull them out on a couple of different locations here, I'll show you what they look like. And I'm sure you already know, but yeah, this is the other land vehicle you can rent here. So you got the Cyclone, which we could also rent to Area 18, and then you've got the Dragonfly here. So let's rent out the Dragonfly as well for a day, just so that I have all the ships available. All right. So now, if you go to the ship retrieval terminals over here, you'll see that we can't actually pull out any land vehicles here at all. The only options you have are your regular ships. So you can't pull land vehicles out of Hurston, but you can rent them. So our next stop is going to be, where can we buy these land vehicles instead of having to rent them for 24 hours? Because the rental kiosk gives you those options, right? Like if you go up, you can rent, you can click. It gives you an option for 1 day, 3 days, 30 days, or 7 days. So I just selected 1 day for the purpose of the video, but you can rent for as long as you like. And our next stop is going to be Delamar, so I'll see you when we get there. Alright, so we've arrived at Levski on Delamar. This is the customs area where you can pull out ships at the retrieval console. These are the hangars and airlocks, etc., etc. And over here at the back left kind of side here, there's this place here that says Ship Shop. Teaches Ship Shop on this side. If you go down here, this is where you can purchase ships. They have the Drake Cutlass Black. They also have a few land vehicles, so we'll go down there and we'll see what they have for sale. So this is Teach's Ship Shop. There's a few things here that you can already see. There's a couple of Auroras. There's 3 different variations of the Aurora. There's also a Prospector, which also you can get at New Deal on Lorville. They also have this guy here, this Anvil Hornet F7C. It's roughly 1.5 mil. And then you've got the Drake Cutlass Black on this side. And over here you've got the land vehicles. So these are the Drake Dragonflies. 272,000 each. They also have this little guy, which is like a little electric gray cat buggy. These things are actually really fun to rip around in. And this is the Cyclone. So this is the one that we've actually already rented. It's about 30,000 AUEC, and they rip. They are really fun to play with. Ride around on moons or planets, whatever. And then here you've got a Buccaneer. I'm not really a big fan of the Buccaneer. I don't even bother with that guy, but these are the land vehicles here that you can purchase from Teach's if you have the money. Obviously, the Dragonflies are the most expensive, next being the Cyclone, and the cheapest being the buggies. So let's actually buy a buggy while we're here so that we have more things to play around with. So this is top lobby. And when you go up here, up the staircase, there's these ship retrieval consoles. And they are going to provide you with all of your land vehicles that you have available to you. So for me, I rented a Grey Cat buggy. Oh, what? Apparently I have 2. A Dragonfly, which is the Drake bike, and then the Nox, which is the Alien bike, and then I have the Cyclone as well rented. So let's pull out the Grey Cat buggy here, just to show you what it's like. And over here on the right, these are the garages. So this is where it's going to spawn your land vehicle on Delamar. Now, Delamar is kind of a rocky place. It's quite bumpy. So what I would recommend doing is if you have a ship that you can actually load up these land vehicles is go somewhere a little bit more enjoyable and flat. Me personally, I like, I think it's Cellin. Cellin is really fun to rip around on. So what you're going to do is, it's so bugged. Enter driver's seat on this little buggy. And these things are cheap. Like anybody can rent or purchase these. It's like 5,000 credits. It's barely anything. Engage systems. And you're off. Little electric buggy. Really fun to play with and drive around. There's a few garages. I think there's 5 or 6 garages here. So you can rent. You could actually pull out multiple if you wanted to. So next stop is Port Olisar. This is where most of the new players are going to be spawning to begin with. And so let's head there and I'll show you what we can do there. There isn't really too much to do there, honestly. But I think that you can actually pull out some things from it. All right, I'll see you at PO. All right, so we've arrived at PO. And if we go to the ship retrieval console, you'll see that we can actually pull out the bikes. We can't pull out any of the other ones like the Grey Cat buggy or the Cyclone, but we can pull out the 2 bikes. So let's pull out the Dragonfly. The nice thing about spawning at PO is that you can pull out the bike, you can take it off the pad, and then you can pull out another ship and load it on, which is kind of a nice thing about spawning at PO. It makes it so that if you have a ship, like for example, I have the Caterpillar, it makes it so that if you have a ship that you can't like directly load on, you can load it on in other ways just by like pulling it close to the edge of the pad and then loading it onto your ship that way. But you can pull off bikes at the PO. There isn't any rental kiosks here, but you can pull out some land vehicles at Port Olisar. So let's go out and just take a look at this Dragonfly. And there it is. So what you could do is you could spawn one ship, fly it around, spawn the bike, and then just fly the bike right into your ship and then take off and go wherever you want from there. Last but not least, I have a list here. For such a short video, it's surprising how long it took me to actually gather all this information, but I'm pretty sure I have a list of all the Platinum Bay locations in the system that is current in 3.7.2. Like, these are just locations that you can pull out land vehicles across the entire system. So here we go. First of all, Crusader System, we'll start there, Port Olisar. You can pull out hover bikes only from Port Olisar. Next up, we have Yela, Deakins Research Outpost, and Arccorp Mining Area 157. Daymar, we have Shubin Mining Facility SCD-1, as well as Arccorp Mining Area 141. On Cellin, we have Hickes Research Outpost. On Delamar, we have Levski, of course, top lobby. You can pull out buggies as well as hover bikes. Hurston System, we have Ariel, HDMS-Bezdek, which is actually where we are right now, HDMS-Lathan. Aberdeen in the Hurston System, you've got Norgaard, Anderson, Yela. In the Hurston System, we've got Ryder, Woodruff. Magda in the Hurston System, we've got Hahn, Perlman. Arccorp System, at Riker Memorial Spaceport, you can pull out hover bikes only. Lyria, the moon in Arccorp, Shubin Mining Facility SAL-2, and Shubin Mining Facility SAL-5. And on Yela, I believe all locations on Yela you can pull out a land vehicle. They're all Arccorp mining facilities and or Arccorp mining areas, and you should be able to pull out. There should be a Platinum Services or Platinum Bay Services location on all of those spots. So that should be all the locations available, Platinum Bay Services, that you can go to pull out a hover bike or a buggy or a rover, whatever you want to do. Those are all the locations that I found. If I was wrong, it took me a really long time to go to all these locations and check them. So if I'm wrong about any of them, please let me know in the comment section down below. If I missed anything, please let me know in the comment section down below. But that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching the video. And again, I really appreciate all the support. It's really going a long way. And before I let you guys go real quick, I do have a merch store on Designed by Humans I released. If you want to check that out, the link is in the description below. As well, if you're new to Star Citizen or you plan on getting the game, and you want to have a little bit of a head start, I would recommend going down into the description below the video here. There's a code that I have from my account that you can use as a referral code, and that's just going to help you out with a little bit extra starting currency when you start the game. So if you go ahead and copy that code, feel free to use it as a referral code if you plan on getting the game. Cheers, everyone. Thank you so much for hanging out, and I hope this video was helpful. Cheers.